seriously? I have this. Sorry about this. My towel keeps falling off. Okay, that's better. Okay, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics / Non-Classics. Episode number 1287 and Doubleshot number 1181. I have two Spiderman trades. Interesting thing about these trades. First of two volumes of both short-lived series because they both get canceled after 12 issues. First up it is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Volume 1, Secrets and Rumors. Written by Tom Taylor. Yep, Tom Taylor writes this series. Now, this, of course, the artwork is at 3 different artists on here for these 6 issues. This is basically the first 6 issues of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Volume 2. An interesting little factoid that Marvel, when these issues would come out, Marvel had the legacy numbering attached to these titles and these issues, and basically issues 1 through 6 are counted as basically issues 25 to 30 of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which, thank you, Marvel, for doing that. Because, God forbid, we actually bother to continue the numbering. Now, the artwork in here is done by Juan Cabo with issues 1 through 4 and 6. Yarja Carter with issue 3 with number 1's backup. Secrets and Rumors. Now, the thing with this series is, it's basically a replacement for Spectacular Peter Parker to Spectacular Spider-Man. So I figured, okay, we have success for that title, but we have to end after, I think it was like 218 issues, I think it was. It didn't last very long, but at least this book managed to last for a small period of time before it ending. Now, this book has the same flavor to it to Spectacular Spider-Man. Namely put that it's drastically different from the main title. Well, due to the fact that it actually features the Human Torch. Because, here's the thing. Like, in the case of the current run Nick Spencer, can you think of any issue where the Human Torch makes a guest star appearance? Answer? No. Hasn't appeared at all. In the case of Slott's run, he appeared twice in the entire run. Like, post-Secret Wars. Yeah, just a couple times. First issue 3, and then popping up in an issue just after he sold the Max building. So, in here, basically, they make references to what happened in the main Amazing Spider-Man title, which I do appreciate the fact that this book keeps up that idea of editorial notes, which apparently Marvel books tend to forget they exist. Maybe you should put these issues in there. Which I think a lot of people did like that about Spectacular Spider-Man, was the frequent use of editor notes. Which, kudos for that. Also, the next book they uses too. Now, in here, basically, Spider-Man's living in an apartment building with, of course, is still dealing with the same time frame as, well, Amazing Spider-Man. When the heck did this take place? Well, presumably after the very first story arc of Amazing Spider-Man. They don't specifically say, per se. So, he comes home after, of course, time of web slinging, where he sees his roommate, who is not Randy Robinson. I'm thinking it's Boomerang. Yeah, because Boomerang is living with him. And he's wearing Peter Parker's underwear. Why? Because apparently Boomerang only washes underwear once a month. I'm like, seriously? Dude, that is disgusting. Why the heck would you wash your underwear once a month? And of course, issues have a guest star appearance by the Kingpin. Well, actually, you can call him Mayor Fisk. Yep, he makes guest appearances else because why the heck not? He was occasionally appearing in Nick Spencer's Amazing Spider-Man run, so why the heck not? Probably due to the fact he's in New York City, so what appearance by one of the most biggest villains in Marvel Comics, who was not the mayor of New York. Yep. And of course, well, Spider-Man is investigating a group of alien kids who apparently are hiding in his hamper. Yes. How in the world these kids got out there? Not especially. There's a potential love interest in here with a neighbor of his who gives apples to, because they have a thing for giving apples. We also have a subplot in here of May Parker being revealed she's got cancer. I'm like, what were you this trope again? Basically, a May Parker attempted to die? Like, I thought that Marvel stopped this nonsense. Like, oh, May Parker's going to die because she's infected with some disease or whatever. I'm Marvel have been doing this since like the 60s. Like, I think for a lot of people, when they're reading this, like, really? We're doing this again? Seriously. Just like 2 or 3 years prior, we had her apparently, we're going to apparently die just part of the clone conspiracy. But nope, we have to kill off her husband instead. I'm like, even I agree, this was a very stupid trope of the Spider-Man comics where May Parker was near close to being dead a lot of the time. This time is a little more reasonable because she's affected with cancer. And she's going to go through a first-round chemo, which I do appreciate the fact they actually have a good, nice note for that, because I have actually known people who've gone through chemo. And they've survived chemo, though they're left invulnerable, thanks to being exposed to it. But despite that, that's actually a subplot. That's a B plot here. The main plot is aliens. Yep, aliens. So Spider-Man needs a babysitter, so who needs to contact? The Human Torch. Because he's good with kids, because he's an uncle. I'm an uncle too. Now, who else could Spider-Man also contact besides, of course, Johnny, who's not busy? I mean, he couldn't contact any merit. Like, he could contact Ben Grimm, but he probably couldn't fit through the window. Like, okay, interesting. I'm glad he contacted the Punisher. That would have been kind of stupid. I mean, yeah, the guy was a father, but I don't think he'd be a good choice to babysit a couple alien kids. Human Torch, basically, it's a good. There's a few other reasons why. Aside from the fact he's an uncle, well, he's a celebrity, and the alien kids know who he is, but not Spider-Man, which I thought that was kind of weird. And the fact he's popular. Yep. We also do the fact these kids are actually the grandchildren of an alien who has a consulate in. Now look at this place. They don't specifically reveal what this consulate was, per se. It's possible this place may have been some former embassy. They don't say which country it was, because it looks abandoned. But apparently it belongs to some aliens, and the alien stuff basically is not the best part of here. The best part of here is the writing and humor. Which, kudos to the fact that Tom Steele is good with humor. Yep. But aside from that, this is actually pretty good. Give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Next up is a book that I don't think anybody expect to see this book in, especially since the last time this book was being published, people were bashing it every month it came out for about a year and a half. But luckily enough, we're not doing it anymore. We have the return of the Superior Spider-Man. Now, this is not written by Dan Slott. Oh no, he has nothing to do with this at all, despite making references to it. Now, this is written by Christos Gage. Interesting choice, given the fact the guy has frequently been co-writer of Dan Slott's for the last several years, and the fact he has experience writing Dr. Octopus as the Superior Spider-Man, mainly in the 2 annual series have, which, okay, interesting. Mostly put, the Superior Spider-Man has taken up residence in San Francisco after the events of Spider-Guy Den, which they reference in here. Now, here's the strange thing. Now, they also reference the events of Clone Conspiracy here as well, and Red Goblin, like several storylines really Spider-Man, which kudos to the fact that Chris was going to remember this stuff because he probably co-wrote some of this stuff too. Now, despite the fact this is Dr. Octopus under the suit, now, he's taken the alias of Elliot Talivar. Interesting. I think this might be a nod to an old 90s character, per se, but I can't think of one. Think of the name. Now, he's using the classic Superior Spider-Man suit, which, okay, and he basically is not as arrogant as he was in the original series. Now, does he have the Spiderlings? His henchmen? Nope, they're no longer seen. But Chris is going to remember to bring back the Spider-Bots. Yep, the things that keep an eye on the city of San Francisco. Oh, and by the way, at the end of the first issue, he fights Terox the Tamer, which, okay, that's interesting to say the least. He shows at the end of the first issue, and he fights in the next issue. And like several issues, basically, he spends in a sling. We'll also have first responders looking for victims. And here's also interesting, though. Now, the supporting characters in this book are Anna Marie, his former girlfriend. We also have appearance by, well, they also have Max Mandel make occasional appearance, but he's not the primary focus character. We didn't have Master Paladin make appearance. Yes, Master Paladin. We're like, what the heck is this guy? Well, he's an old villain. Like, old as frickin' time itself, like, seems like. Yeah, and also, we have the Night Shift. I'm like, wow, that's a blast in the past. The Night Shift, a group formed by the Shade. Yes, a group of former criminals, one of whom happens to be a serial killer. Apparently, Dr. Octopus didn't bother to do research on former villains he's working with. Yep. Oh, and yeah, there's also a guy called the Waxman. So, to deal with Master Pilodon, who does basically Spider-Man contact? This is Master Permadillium. Yeah, this is him. Now you probably think, okay, who does this appearance on contact deal with something like this? Why, Doctor Strange, of course. Because of course they contact Doctor Strange. And even Doctor Strange does that maybe say, you're not Spider-Man. He's like, I'm the superior Spider-Man. Heck, even Dr. Octopus knows who... No, not Dr. Octopus. Stephen Strange knows who he is. Which, okay. And he works him to take down Master Paladin, which that's interesting to say the least. Yep. Even at one point, I thought this was so hilarious. They have Dr. Octopus wear the cloak of levitation, and we have Doctor Strange wear the mechanical spider arms that are attached to the Superior Spider-Man's back. I thought it was so hilarious, the fact that they actually swapped capes in a way, which I thought was so funny. But this book is so good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. If you're going to ask me personally, like, is this book better than the original Spider-Man book? Yes. Because the characters are not written to be stupid. Because that was a lot of people's biggest problem with the original Superior Spider-Man book. The fact that every single character, including May Parker, was written to be such a complete doofus. Well, with the exception of the only person who wasn't was Iron Man, because even Slott knows not to write Iron Man as an idiot. But he did write Captain America, Wolverine, Black Widow, right? Most Avengers up it is, but not Iron Man. Well, that probably gave Marvel like, hey, you wrote basically Iron Man to be a complete genius. You're getting Iron Man soon. You get Iron Man since Bendis wraps up his run for the book. I'm sure somebody must have thinking about that when before he got Iron Man. Because he wrote Iron Man to be not as dumb as the other Avengers are. But these two are really good titles and thoroughly enjoyable, despite the fact that when I get things fine, when my local library gets them, that's the end of the series for both of them, because both series were canceled after 12 issues. If you're curious, like asking, Nick, why were these series canceled 12 issues? Presumably low sales. In the case of the Superior Spider-Man book, maybe people probably didn't buy it, probably because it basically was associated with the original one. They probably thought, oh crap, they put this piece of garbage title back? Pass. But they probably didn't notice the writer. Yes, I think they were so, like, disenfranchised with Superior Spider-Man because a lot of people hated the title, so they bought the Air Spider books instead. But they probably didn't notice that Crystal Gage writing the book, not Dan Slott. Now, I forgot to mention the artist on here is Mike Hawthorne. Yep. Now, the cover art here for the first 4 issues is done by Travis Karst and Jorge Calillo. That's issue 5. But yeah, 2 books that are first halves of 2 revived series that got quickly canceled. Was there anything to replace them? Well, there were other Spider-Man books, basically. Now, in the case of the Superior Spider-Man, this book had the potential of lasting a period of time. Now, here's something quite strange about Superior Spider-Man. It is the 3rd series, actually no, the 4th series in the last 10 years to be based out of San Francisco. You're probably asking, what was the first one? Uncanny X-Men. Yes, the X-Book's based out of San Francisco, but the first solo superhero based out of San Francisco was Daredevil. He was there for a year. And then he got replaced by the Prowler, and then after Prowler's how it ended after, like, barely 6 issues. And then they got replaced by Superior Spider-Man, which I'm wondering what the heck Prowler is, despite he's supposed to be Protector of San Francisco. And Well, currently, no superhero is living in San Francisco because, well, I like the fact Chris Case pokes fun at the fact that, oh yeah, all the superheroes live in New York. Though you can kind of say there was a reason for that because Marvel Comics is based in New York, so why not create a beach in New York? Though this is one of the few titles not based in New York because when you had the Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider title, that was based out of Las Vegas of all things, which that was interesting. Which that was the first time you had Marvel stuff based in Las Vegas since the 80s with the Incredible Hulk. But yeah, San Francisco's been a popular place in the last 10 years for a solo series based in. I kind of wish we go back there, but nope, we had to be stuck in New York for some reason. Who knows the reason why for that? Okay, so that's it for this particular review. My next review is going to be tomorrow because I don't have time to do another do my review for ReZero or 7 Deadly Sins because of the time. It's like 10 o'clock. I don't have time to watch it. Then, I mean, I do have time to watch, but I don't have time to review it. That's the thing. So, yeah, I'm going to be expecting about 3 anime review videos tomorrow, okay? See you next video. Bye.